I wanted to do a quick review on the WEN belt sander. It's a 2-in-1 machine. It's got the 1x30 belt and the 5-inch disc on the side. I feel like this gets a bad rep because it's a cheap belt sander that's a tabletop machine, but it's actually a pretty good little unit. First of all, out of the box, you do have to assemble it. You have to put these stands on, you have to put the housings on, you have to get the knobs on. It's not that difficult. You can do it without the instructions if you're pretty mechanically inclined. It's just a couple screws and some hand tightening. Accessory wise, you get a miter gauge for the 5-inch sanding disc on the side to control your angles. You get some vacuum ports, one by the belt sander and then one by the sanding disc to kind of keep the dust under control. I will say though that during assembly you have to be really careful. Some of these screws are cheap, specifically this table right here. I don't think I over tightened this, but apparently I did, because now I'm at the point where it's loose and it will just flop around pretty easily, which can make working difficult, but I found that if you jam something up underneath to keep the table level, then you'll be fine. The other thing I could do if I wasn't lazy is I could just get a new screw to replace this one and it would be fine. I'll give you a closer look here so you can see what I'm talking about. It's this screw right here. This is the one that I over tightened, and now we just have a floppy table here. So this unit is a 2.3 amp. It'll just plug in right into your regular wall outlet. It'll give you about 3,100 feet per minute on the belt and about 3,500 RPMs on the disc, which might seem slow or fast depending on the type of work you're looking to do, but it's pretty good for any light duty stuff. One thing I really like about this unit is it is really small. It is a tabletop unit. It weighs 16 pounds, so it's pretty easy to pick up and just transport it wherever you need to take it. Like I mentioned before with the screw, it does seem like there's some cheaper materials on here. The actual unit itself is aluminum. Some of the plastic components feel really cheap, so when you're changing out the belt, I worry that over time these tabs might snap off or the plastic itself might crack. The shield up here is actually pretty thick, so that's one of the better components on here. The platforms are metal. I assume that they're aluminum because this whole unit is pretty light. But the unit itself seems pretty sturdy so far. I've got about 20 hours using it and nothing has gone wrong yet. I'll run you guys through a quick belt change just so you can get a feel for how easy and quick it actually is. This top shield slides right off. Set that to the side. There's a screw here, which is difficult to get to with a long screwdriver, but that's okay. All you have to do is loosen it because it slides in, so you don't have to take it all the way out, which is kind of nice. And there's a screw there. There's also a screw in the back here. Which comes right off, and then you can change the tension of the belt here with this knob and spring. You tighten the spring to make this this belt looser, just to pull it right off to the side. It slides right out, you put your new belt on. This is fairly easy to use. I'm going to show you a little demonstration. I'm going to sand this piece of stainless steel. As you can see, it's pretty thick. I'm going to make like a cleaver style knife out of this, so I'm going to end up doing this anyways. So I'll just make a quick mark on the side there just to show you how quickly this will go through. I'm not sure what grit sandpaper this is. It might be like a 60 or so. got down to the line there. You can see it's fairly smooth. Pretty easy to use, as you would expect. Now the most important thing is the price. This little unit is $80, which in my opinion is a steal. It does anything that a bigger belt sander will do, maybe a little bit slower because of the belt size and the speed of the belt, but it will do anything that a larger belt sander will do at a fraction of the cost. I'm going to leave the Amazon link down in the description of this video so you guys can check that out. I would highly recommend purchasing this unit if you're looking for a cheap belt sander, especially one that's vertical. A lot of the ones that you find are horizontal. This vertical one is nice because it gives you this vertical feel to sand. For example, I use this for shaping knives, so it gives you this vertical surface to get the curve of your knife just right, where you don't have to try to do it on a horizontal surface, which is much more difficult. Overall, it's got plenty of power, it's easy to use, it's easy to change out components. The only downside is some of the cheaper materials on it, but you can really get by that by changing out the screws, and you don't need, if something were to ever happen to this side housing, you do not need that on there. It's just there as a sort of like a machine guarding. I would recommend that you replace it if you can, but it's not necessary for using the belt sander. Thanks for watching, guys, and make sure to like and subscribe if this video helped you out at all.